Hello, BookTube. I have a few more mail packages here. A little bit more came so far today. I think I have one more shipment on the way, and also a read along update. Earlier today, I said that how much I enjoyed doing this read along and how much I've been gratified by the responses that I've been getting, and I opened the floor to what we should do for May, and the responses have been quite a few, and they're still coming, and I love that. I absolutely, apart from anything that we end up deciding, I love that fact. That is wonderful for a scrofulous old shut-in. But right now, the responses seem to be falling along two lines: democratic and autocratic. And I don't think anybody who's watched this channel for any length of time has any trouble guessing where my own sympathies lie. Well, on the one hand, some people have been saying, why don't you come up with a short list of things, of possibilities, and announce it in a video, and we can just vote on the one we want to do. And on the other hand, people have been saying, just pick. You just decide yourself. Basically, think of it almost like a classroom. And of course, it's the second that I'm leaning towards. But I'm going to look over all the possibilities in my mind and on my bookshelves, and then we'll revisit the subject tomorrow and see where we stand. But ideally, what I'd like to do is have the matter settled by our next read-along, which is on Sunday, so that we know what we're doing in May, so that everybody has time to prepare, especially if those of you who like physical printed books. That'll give you time to find a copy at your local charity shop or whatever. I am pretty much determined that it will be a classic of some kind, something in the common domain, so that you always have the option, since all of you have a computer, or you couldn't watch me, since most of you have a phone, I'm guessing, you'll always have the option to just download a free electronic copy, either at my beloved Project Gutenberg or elsewhere. There are plenty of those things. And I'm also pretty much leaning against American literature, since you have other and more capable booktubers than I am to discuss American literature, I'm thinking. But one way or another, a lot of suggestions have come for a change in genre, which is kind of surprising, since I know what a security blanket the made-up stories are for so many readers. A lot of people are suggesting nonfiction next time, biography, or something like that. So I'll come up with a bunch of candidates. I'll mull it all over, and we'll discuss it again tomorrow. But I wanted to thank you all, because that is really nice to open a discussion and actually get responses. That's wonderful. that's pretty much why I did this whole BookTube thing in the first place. But anyway, let's look at the books here and see what we have. See if there's anything really, really good. Oh my. Okay. Didn't request this. This is from Harvard University Press. This comes out in early May. Wait, we got a book on acoustics just yesterday. This is Hearing Things, the work of sound in literature, by Angela Layton, who is a professor of English and senior research fellow at Trinity College, University of Cambridge, where they do architecture kind of good. The University of Cambridge, just in case you haven't been there. They do architecture kind of good there. What is this? It's a meditation on sounds work in literature. In works like Tennyson, Yeats, Robert Frost, Walter D. LeMaire. Oh, there's a name that doesn't get mentioned on book too much. Wallace Stevens, Elizabeth Bishop, Jory Graham, Alice Oswald. Huh. Okay, those are poets. Okay. Fantastic. All right, a serious literary study. This is exactly the sort of thing that I praise academic presses for. You good luck trying to get something like this in a mainstream commercial press. It's you'd have to have an editor that really believed in it, and Harvard does dozens of these things every season. So that's great. Serious literary study for the general reader. That's wonderful. All right, what have we got next here? Oh my God, it's tiny. Oh, okay. We saw this before. This must be the finished copy. This is due any day. This is the finished copy of Migrant Brothers, A Poet's Declaration of Human Dignity. Tiny little thing. From Yale? Yes, from Yale, by Patrick Chamoiseau, that we saw before. This is about immigrant identity. And this is the finished copy. And that's good, because I have no idea what happened to the advanced copy. I must have sent it out to somebody. All right, let's Let's forge on here. What is this next one? Okay, it's another academic press. This is Princeton. Okay, this is due in late May. It's by Heather Widdows, and it is Perfect Me, Beauty as an Ethical Ideal. Our perception of the self is changing. Oh, sorry. Our perception of the self is changing. In the first moral philosophy on beauty, Heather Widdows argues that more and more we are locating the self in the body. Oh my God. Does this pub sheet... Let's go over that again, shall we? Let's pause, take a deep breath, and go over that again. In the first moral philosophy on beauty, Heather Widdows argues that more and more we are locating the self in the body, not in our actual flawed body, but in an imagined one. But when we place our sense of self in an imagined ideal, we make self-improvement a never-ending process. Based on empirical and social science studies covering issues like hair coloring, hair removal, and male cosmetic surgery, Perfect Me makes new and original arguments about beauty as an ethical ideal, about the global nature of the ideal, about the imagined self, beauty objectification as opposed to sexual objectification, and the rejection of previous accounts of beauty as simple gendered exploitation. Okay. And she is the John Ferguson Professor of Global Ethics in the Department of Philosophy at the University of Birmingham. She's written a couple of other books, including a study of Iris Murdoch. Okay. All right, so that's just a one-paragraph book description. It need not have been dictated by her. It certainly does not reflect on the book. I will certainly read the book. That sounds fascinating. But there's a lot wrong with that one paragraph. A lot wrong. With studies, this pub sheet mentions empirical and social science studies, but there's only one kind. All science is either empirical or it's not science. And there are many, many empirical scientific studies that show that the human perception of what constitutes beauty is fairly hardwired. Changing the ideas of beauty objectification, well, the author's going to have an uphill battle to talk to me about it, but that's great. I would hope that an author of a book like this would want an uphill battle. But as to the original line, the pub sheet calls this the first moral philosophy on beauty, which has to mean that the writer of the pub sheet, at least, does not read French. And I can't believe that the author would make that claim. Let's see. Oh, goodness gracious. That is our author. Okay. Very striking. So let's see if our author does know French, because there have been French theoreticians on the subject of the moral philosophy of beauty for 200 years. And I'm now dreading that I'm going to look at her bibliography and see no works except in English. And of course I open it right away to Michel Foucault, an English translation of Discipline and Punish. Okay. All right. Okay. So I got a Frenchman, yes, but an idiot. That's okay. No, this is all English language. Oh, goodness gracious. So, all right, so she might not be familiar with... But then again, she might not be familiar with the claim in the pub sheet. So I'll just table the whole subject and read the book. That's the ultimate way to decide all these things, just to read the book. All right, so more theoretical stuff. This is a very brainy mail haul. No Steve books yet. Of course, you all know, since 80 million people have emailed me or texted me on the subject so far today, 80 million people have emailed or texted me on the new trailer for the movie adaptation of Steve Alton's novel MEG. 80 million people have sent me the trailer, or links to the trailer, or comments about the trailer, or questions about the trailer. And I don't have any idea how to do a standard YouTube trailer reaction video. I watch probably 24 of them every day, but I have no idea how to do one. Or I would do a Breaking Banter style trailer reaction. The trailer, frankly, disappointed me. I mean, it starts beautifully with a beautiful scene of a little girl in an underwater observation deck And slowly out of the gloom looms the biggest shark imaginable right in front of the window, an inch away from her, and tries to bite the glass. That is wonderful. And then the trailer very quickly devolves after that into Sharknado 7. Bigger is better, I guess, would be the subtitle. And I'm a big fan of the Sharknado movies, but they know how absurd they are. After that first glimpse, it doesn't look like the movie takes itself seriously, and maybe you can't expect a MEG movie to take itself seriously. I don't know. Maybe the absurdity ship has already sailed when it comes to a MEG movie. But still, it looked sloppy, too. I mean, the further along the trailer went, the more frenetic the jump cuts got, and the more the CGI looked like CGI. Well, we'll see. We'll see. But the reason I brought that up is because I am now obviously hoping to see in the mail a movie cover for MEG. I'm obviously hoping that the publisher will reprint it, the first book anyway, as an adjunct to the publicity for the movie. That would be incredible. It would be so great to have a legitimate new book call. I mean, of course, it's a free country, and Open Letters Review is wide open. Open Letters Review is wide open for business. We have categories to write about almost any kind of book that would cross your mind. And we have people who've already done that. So I could easily write about Steve Alten's MEG just because I feel like it. But it would be nice if there were an actual impetus. If I got a copy of the book that was reprinted with the movie poster on the cover. We'll see if that happens. I will discreetly inquire tomorrow and see if perhaps such things are circulating. But anyway, what have we got here? Oh, goodness gracious. All right, so we're doing a tour of the Ivy League here. This is Yale University Press again. This is another academic book. So we don't have any Steve books this time around. And no made-up stories, no fiction at all. No science fiction, nothing, no study of dogs. This is due in late April. It's Radical Sacrifice by Terry Eagleton. Literary and cultural critic Terry Eagleton probes the nature of sacrifice and its depictions from ancient times to the present. He focuses on the Old and New Testaments, offering a detailed analysis of crucifixion. He draws together a host of philosophers, theologians, and texts from Hegel and Nietzsche to Derrida, to the Aeneid, to the Wings of the Dove. In Meditations on Death and Eros, Shakespeare and St. Paul, Irony and Hybridity, Eagleton explores the meaning of sacrifice in modernity, casting off misconceptions of barbarity and reconnecting sacrifice to politics and revolution. Okay, that almost sounds like this is just a collection of reprints. I don't think that in addition to freelancing out his name to every venue in Christendom, Terry Eagleton was secretly going home from his daily work to write a book on sacrifice. Is this parts of this reprinted? What are you going to tell me here? Are you going to admit it, even if they were? Are you going to say that some of these are previous essays? No? No. All right, well, what have we got here? So, Radical Sacrifice, Tragedy and Crucifixion, Martyrdom and Mortality, Exchange and Excess, Kings and Beggars. Let's go to your endnotes and see what you do here. Well, there's actual endnotes here. It looks like this is a concentrated work, not just a collection of reprints. Wow. Okay. On the nature of radical sacrifice. Okay. All right. So I managed to squeeze in a bit about MEG, but that's all you're going to get this time around. Otherwise, we're touring the eggiest of egghead material here. We've got Radical Sacrifice by Terry Eagleton, who is often, but not always, a moron on the printed page. So this could be good. And then Perfect Me by Heather Widdows about concepts of beauty and what they mean. Then Hearing Things, the work of sound in literature, which is it seems like it's going to be concentrating on sound in poetry, which is fine by me, especially since half the poets that are mentioned on the dust jacket are poets I like. And the finished copy of this tiny little thing, Migrant Brothers, about a meditation on immigration and emigration. So there you go. That is a fairly egg-heady mail haul. So, I will probably get more today. We shall see what happens. But in the meantime, I will sign off for now, and I will be back, I think, tomorrow. I don't think any more videos today, but tomorrow I'll be back, and I'll give you more of my thoughts. We'll talk more about our May read-along, see what we can nail down, so that everybody has time to get the book and get ready and do all that stuff, and me too. So I'll sign off for now, but I'll see you soon. Thank you, BookTube.